Welcome back, my fellow comic book friends, my comic book broskies, my comic compadres. Now, this is gonna be a very special episode, very near and dear to my heart, because I'm talking about the dreaded out-of-print comic books. That's right, the ones that we just simply can't find, can't get our hands on. So recently, I have been praying to the comic book gods. Oh, comic book gods, can we please get some reprints?
Shut up, Casper.
I can tell you it's been going pretty well so far, but whilst I'm waiting for my prayers to be answered, let's take a moment for me to tell you some of these amazing out-of-print comic books that I would love for these to come back. And if for any reason you have any of these, let me know in the comments below so that the rest of us can be inspired by your awesome collection and also envy you at the same time. So, let's kick it. First one on the list, and we're starting off pretty strong. We got Kill or Be Killed by Sean Phillips and Ed Brubaker. You're going to hear these names quite a few times throughout the list because they have some awesome comic books they have made over the years. It is published by Image Comics, and it's a twisted story of a young man who is forced to kill bad people, and how he struggles to keep his secret as it slowly ruins his life and the lives of his friends and loved ones. Both a thriller and a deconstruction of vigilantism. It has 20 issues in it, which is the entire run in this beautiful deluxe edition. Oh, and I should tell you that all of these comics that I'm going to be talking about are collected editions, specifically hardcovers. So we got deluxe editions, we got omnibuses, we got absolute editions, the whole shebang. You know, the good stuff. Up next, we got Deadpool by Poston and Duggan Omnibus. I do love a good Deadpool story, but unfortunately there aren't many of them out there. And with the Deadpool and Wolverine movie that's around the corner, hopefully we'll see a bit of a resurgence of these. Comedy writing partners Brian Poston and Jerry Duggan bring the funny Deadpool style in one of the more well-received eras of the Merc with a Mouth. Wade Wilson must take down an army of dead presidents, and things only get wilder from there. I wanted to get this omnibus for quite some time. It was last printed back in 2016, so I think it's about time it comes back. This is a pretty meaty collection, collecting Deadpool the 2012 series 1 through to 45, Deadpool Dracula's Gauntlet 1 through to 7, Death of Wolverine, Deadpool, and Captain America 1. Luther Strode The Complete Collection hardcover is next on the list, published by Image Comics. Now, I swear this one's been out of print for a really long time, and you can probably find them in the wild online on like an Amazon, on an eBay, but come on, man, those prices are absolutely wild. So written by Justin Jordan and Trad Moore, with art by Trad Moore and Felipe Sobreiro. So the story of Luther Strode is about an average teenage nerd until he sends away for the Hercules method, a bodybuilding course that promises to give him the body of his dreams, but the powers he unleashes make him a target for a murder cult as old as mankind, cost him almost everything, and take him across the world in a fight to take back his life. The collected edition collects the following: The Strange Talent of Luther Strode 1 through to 6, The Legend of Luther Strode 1 through to 6, and The Legacy of Luther Strode 1 through to 6. Next up on the list, we've got Nailbiter, the deluxe hardcovers 1, 2, and 3. I swear I've never seen these in the wild, and I would love to get my hands on them. If you guys love all things criminal and serial killers and mystery and all that kind of stuff, then you should probably wait until this one comes back, but you can get the compendiums right now or the trade paperbacks. In fact, I bought myself the first trade paperback because curiosity got the best of me. And I gotta say, it's got me hooked, and it makes me want to get these collected editions even more so. So I will be suffering in silence in the meantime. So what is this really about? So Buckaroo, Oregon has given birth to 16 of the vilest serial killers in the world. An obsessed FBI profiler investigating the town has suddenly gone missing, and now an NSA agent must work with the notorious serial killer Edward Nailbiter Warren to find his friend and solve the mystery of where do serial killers come from. Created by Mike Henderson and Joshua Williamson, the story hooked me from the get-go. I just love the mystery aspect of it, and it's got this wonderful juxtaposition of, you know, the actual story, because it's dark and grim, against this super wacky, cartoon, colorful, like, artwork. And it works really well. I didn't think it would. It's just a lot of fun. Velvet the Deluxe Edition. From the creators of Captain America The Winter Soldier comes Velvet, that being Ed Brubaker and Steve Epting. Yes, like I said, Ed Brubaker is gonna come up a few times in here. I gotta say, Ed Brubaker with Steve Epting probably created one of the best Captain America stories of all time, but that's a story for another day. Velvet is a slick and sexy new take on the Cold War spy genre. What if the secretary to the man running the world's most top secret spy agency was actually their most dangerous weapon once upon a time? Collects Velvet issues 1 through 215. Deadpool is back again on this list by Joe Kelly this time. God, I haven't seen this one in the wild, well, forever. I do own some of the single issues, if not most of them, but it would be awesome to get the oversized artwork and an all-in-one in this collected edition. So fun fact, this is the first ongoing Deadpool run, and one of the best ones out there. Joe Kelly's hilarious, brutal, twisted, and definitive take on Deadpool. Collecting Deadpool 1 through 233, the 1997 series, issue -1, 0, Daredevil Deadpool Annual 1997, Deadpool Death Annual 1998, Baby's First Deadpool, Amazing Spider-Man issue 47 and 611, and material from Deadpool 900. I know there's gotta be some serious demand for this collected edition, and it's been over a decade since it's been printed. Here's hoping, like I said before, with the release of the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, we get this one back. If we get any Deadpool material back, let's get this one. Please, Marvel, let's make it happen. East of West, Volume 1, 2, and 3. Gosh, you guys are probably frothing at the mouth hearing this, aren't you? I know this one's gotta be in high demand. This is published by Image Comics and by one of the greatest writers right now. I'm talking about Jonathan Hickman, which reminds me, we totally need more independent work from that genius. Also, his stuff on X-Men got me really excited about X-Men, and I was devastated when he dropped off writing the X-Men. Oh man, that really sucked. But anyways, East of West, a sci-fi western set in a dystopian America where all hope for the future rests in the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, who just happen to be trying to kill the president of the United States. Super bizarre sounding premise, but I'm sure super awesome all the same. The 3 deluxe hardcovers all contain 15 issues, wrapping up this 45-issue epic. The Fade Out, another one by Ed Brubaker, the deluxe edition. Oh man, this one is amazing. And you know what? I own it, but if they happen to reprint it, I would honestly buy it again. That's how much I love it. Probably one of my favorite hardcover comics I own. The Fade Out is about Hollywood in 1948, a noir film stuck in endless reshoots. A writer plagued with nightmares from the war and a dangerous secret, an up-and-coming starlet's suspicious death, and a maniacal studio mogul and his security chief who will do anything to keep the cameras rolling before the post-war boom days come crashing down. The Fade Out Deluxe Edition collects the entire series wrapped up in 12 issues, and it's one of the best noir stories out there. It just feels so unique, one of its kind, a story that transcends the pages, one of the more grounded stories that you'll get to experience, and it really feels like you are there, overhearing people's conversations. It's an intimate story, consistently strong from start to finish, and one that will stay with you for a long time, if not forever. Fatale, Volume 1 and 2. Yes, it's another one by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. The dynamic duo are back and bringing us a reporter in 2012 stumbling on a secret that leads him down the darkest path imaginable to a seductive woman who's been on the run since 1935, a mobster who may be an immortal demon monster, and the stories of all the doomed men who've been caught in their decades-long struggle. These 2 deluxe editions collect the whole story composed of 24 issues, and I swear it has been a decade since they came out. And please, let's get them reprinted. Definitely one of my more sought after comics, and there is no way in hell I'm paying those crazy secondhand prices on eBay. Oh hell no. Choose Smorgasbord Volume 1 2, and 3. That's right, collecting the entire run in those beautiful 3 massive oversized hardcovers. They're like the absolute editions of DC Comics. So Tony Chu is a detective with a secret, a weird secret. Tony Chu is cybopathic, which means he gets psychic impressions from whatever he eats. It also means he's a hell of a detective, as long as he doesn't mind nibbling on the corpse of a murder victim to figure out who done it and why. Each collected edition has 20 issues in it and would be fun to experience the cartoony artwork of Rob Guillory and to witness the kooky writings of John Layman. Scalped, the deluxe hardcover is volume 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh man, I'm absolutely dreading talking about this one because I used to own these and I sold them for pretty much retail price. A few years ago, a huge mistake now looking back at it. Oh man, I would love to buy these again. Now, these are published by Vertigo Comics that has become defunct back in 2020. So what are the chances of these coming back to print? Honestly, I have no idea. I get the feeling that maybe DC would have the rights for this. The comic book series is written by Jason Aaron and illustrated by R.M. Guerra. The series focuses on Oglala Lakota inhabitants of the fictional Prairie Rose Indian Reservation in a modern-day South Dakota as they grapple with organized crime, rampant poverty, drug addiction and alcoholism, local politics, and the preservation of their cultural identity. Alright, this is insane, but about a couple of days after I filmed this video and I was editing it, I saw the solicitations from DC Comics announce that Scalped is coming back, but in an omnibus format. So hopefully DC, let's keep that solicitation, let's make it come true. Yes, please, I would love it so much. It excites me like crazy. Just means I need to get back to praying because looks like DC is listening. Cruel Summer, the hardcover. Why yes, it is another Brubaker and Sean Phillips magical collected edition. In the summer of '88, Teague Lawless comes home to plan the biggest heist of his career. But Teague's son Ricky and his friends are starting down the same dark path their fathers are on. And this is about to become the worst summer of their lives, an epic tale of tragedy handed down from generation to generation. Y the Last Man, the Absolute Editions 1, 2, and 3. Alright, these are also published by Vertigo Comics. So Y the Last Man is a post-apocalyptic science fiction comic book series written by Brian K. Vaughan and Pia Guerrera doing the artwork, published from 2002 through to 2008. The series centers on Yorick Brown and his pet capuchin monkey Ampersand, the only males who survived the apparent global genocide. The series was published in 60 issues. Interestingly enough, this had a TV show back in 2021 and it bombed pretty hard, and probably for a good reason. It was a poor representation of the graphic novel. It didn't make it past the first season, which is probably for the best, but it did have Olivia Thirlby in it, and she's very easy on the eyes. Nice. Alright, I've just come back from the gym, so I'm a little bit cooked on the second half of the video, but please bear with me. This next request over here is the Absolute Batman, the Black Mirror. Now I know that's a little bit strange because we're getting a deluxe edition reprinted this year, which is fantastic. But still, it would be nice to see it in an extra oversized edition. And I say this because this is really a great story, and it is the debut of Scott Snyder at DC, who went on to write some exceptional content over the years. The story was published in 10 issues of Detective Comics in 2011. It is known for being the final Batman storyline of the post-crisis DC universe before the 2011 reboot initiative New 52. The storyline was released to critical acclaim from critics who praised Scott Snyder's writing, the art, the horror tone, and the action, which managed to convince DC Comics to hire Scott Snyder as the main writer for Batman in the New 52. Yeah, it really was that good. Deathstroke by Christopher Priest, the Omnibus. I totally missed the boat on this one, and I think you can still find these out in the wild. Slade Wilson, professionally known as Deathstroke, is the world's deadliest assassin, possessing the intellect of a master tactician, genetically enhanced strength, reflexes, and healing, and the mindset of a stone-cold killer. He's the go-to person when you want somebody dead and you want them to stay dead. This one collects Deathstroke Rebirth Issue 1, Deathstroke 1 through 250, Deathstroke Annual 1, 1, DC Holiday Special 2017 1, Titans 11, Titans 8, 28 to 30, and Titans The Lazarus Contract Special 1. This is one hell of a beast of an omnibus, clocking at almost 1400 pages. Batman Nightfall Omnibus Volume 2 and 3, and I know this one is bound to get reprinted sometime soon, and in fact, I have Volume 1 over here. Boom, still got this bad boy in plastic. I know it's embarrassing, now I'll get to it. I know it's on my read list, but having Volume 2 and 3 would be nice to complete the collection. The Nightfall Saga is probably one of the coolest stories of Batman. I have heard that Volume 2 and 3 are nowhere near as strong as the first one, but still, it would be absolutely dope to experience some of that crazy 90s magic. Deathstroke by Tony S. Daniel, the omnibus. I don't know much about this one. This is one of the smaller omnibuses out there with 500 pages. It came out in 2018, and I know it's not one of the stronger runs from DC, but I bet some of the artwork is absolutely stunning, especially coming from Tyler Kirkham doing the illustrations. So my curiosity gets the best of me, and I probably would pick this one up if it got some love from DC. Now this next one is a part of the Marvel Cosmic Saga, and I'm talking about War of Kings Prelude and the Aftermath Omnibus, and I'm sure these ones are bound to come back soon because we've had the Annihilation Conquest, and the War of Kings that came out not that long ago. These two that I'm talking about now form that epic 5-piece saga, and Marvel knows that it has a moneymaker on their hands here, so it's just a matter of time that we see these back in circulation. Still, it would be nice to complete that collection because I've got 3 out of the 5 so far. Captain America by Mark Waid and Ron Garney. I've got a bit of a soft spot for this one because, in all honesty, one of the first Marvel comics that I started reading was actually this particular run. This one was last in print in 2017, and I heard that the binding was an absolute nightmare. Collecting Captain America 444 through to 454, the 1968 series, Captain America 1 through to 23, the 1998 series, Iron Man Captain America Annual 98, Captain America Sentinel of Liberty 1 through to 12, rough cut material from Captain America the Legend, Captain America Red, White, and Blue. This one is mostly fueled by nostalgia, but I do remember some great stories that came out of it as well, like The American Nightmare. That was a story that really stuck with me, and especially being quite young when I read it. I was anywhere from like 10 to 12 years old, so that story was just stunning and amazing to me back then, and I'm sure it's still pretty cool too. We got a great story featuring the Red Skull with a lot of twists and turns that I didn't expect, the Skrull invasion, and the Live, Free, or Die. And I remember that one distinctly. This is issue 8 from Captain America. That is the only issue out of that 4-part series that I got to read. I think it was, in fact, the very first Captain America that I ever witnessed in my life. And to this day, I still haven't read that full 4-part arc. It has been a long time, and I don't think this collection has the remaining issues either. Those are probably scattered somewhere in like the Iron Man issues or something like that. And speaking of which, we got Iron Man next by Kurt Busiek and Sean Chen, the omnibus. Oh man, and Iron Man definitely needs a lot more love in the Marvel universe, especially when it comes to collected editions, omnibuses. I remember seeing these on the stands, being too poor to buy any of them, but loved flicking through the pages and admiring the covers, which looked pretty slick for their time. This also has the Live, Free, or Die storyline, which I remember from that Captain America 8, like I mentioned before, and I think he's got the other issues that finish out that particular arc, which would be hella exciting to finally experience. So this one's got Iron Man 1 through to 25, the 1998 series, Captain America issue 8, so I guess you'll be double dipping this one with the previous Captain America by Mark Waid, Quicksilver issue 10, Avengers issue 7, Iron Man and Captain America Annual 1998, Fantastic Four issue 15, Iron Man Annual 1999, Thor 17, Peter Parker Spider-Man 11, Juggernaut The Eighth Day, and Iron Man The Iron Age 1 through to 2. Batwoman the Omnibus. Now I'm specifically referring to the J.A. Williams III. So Kate Kane has taken up the identity of Batwoman, leading a one-woman war on Gotham City evil underbelly. So J.H. Williams III's extensive work on Batwoman saw him play both writer and illustrator. The Batwoman Omnibus is a visually stunning collection that includes works from his frequent collaborators Greg Rucka and W. Hayden Blackman, here in its entirety. Collects Detective Comics 854 through to 863, Batwoman 0 the New 52, Batwoman 0 through to 24, and Batwoman Annual 1. This is a nice size, clocking in at 888 pages. You can still probably find this one in the wild, but several places that I've looked at, I couldn't find it. It would be a sweet Omni to own. The Sixth Gun, the deluxe edition, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, there's quite a few volumes of this one. You can probably find maybe 3 or 4 out of the 6 volumes quite easily, but it's just those remaining ones to perfect the run. That's a bit tricky. I know there's a couple of volumes that are very, very hard to find out there. So during the darkest days of the Civil War, wicked cutthroats came into possession of 6 pistols of otherworldly power. In time, the Sixth Gun, the most dangerous of the weapons, vanished. When the gun surfaces in the hands of an innocent girl, dark forces reawaken. Vile men thought long dead set their sights on retrieving the gun and killing the girl. Only Drake Sinclair, a gunfighter with a shadowy past, stands in their way, but the guns have a power and a destiny more terrifying than anyone imagines. This series was published from 2010 through to 2016 by Oni Press, spanning a total of 50 issues. Written by Cullen Bunn with art by Brian Hurt and Bill Crabtree. I would love to see these collected editions reprinted. I feel like we are getting deprived of some of the finest stories that the comic book industry has to offer. These are some fantastic writers, exceptional artists, and these formats would be absolutely gorgeous to own these comics in. If you own any of these, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to know how many lucky people from the comic book community there are that own some of these, if all of these. In fact, let me know specifically which ones you own, and I'm going to feel extremely envious, but I'm also going to be excited to hear that some of you guys own these awesome stories. If I have missed some fantastic out-of-print comic books, please let me know, and you'll probably blow my mind that I didn't end up putting them on the list. Anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you did enjoy it, hit it with a like, and I'll hit you up with some more comic book content soon. Take care.